Trinity Lutheran Church in Moorhead, Minnesota is home to a pipe organ that has been a special part of the church since its installation in 1957. This magnificent instrument boasts a total of 2,500 pipes and the ability to incorporate sounds of many other instruments. Andrew Steinberg takes us on a tour of this mighty instrument and shares his personal passion for its history.
My name is Andrew Steinberg, and I'm the organist at Trinity Lutheran Church, and I'm the chapel organist at Concordia College, both in Moorhead, Minnesota. Having large instruments in really large churches help to lead singing, which is really their main function in the beginning, was to just help people sing and unify singing in church services. Pipe organs, when they first became popular in churches, were really the most advanced thing around, and they were made large because it was easy to make the mechanics work. And then they found out, wow, we can make a lot more noise, so let's make bigger pipes and bigger instruments, and as long as you can supply enough air to a large enough pipe, you can make a really, really big sound. It's so much fun to play the organ at Trinity because of the presence that it brings into the space. It's a really tall and long building, and there's so much room for all of the great sounds to fill up the room. And it was really exciting as a student when I was still kind of getting my feet about me with the organ to get to play, and just the power that comes with playing the organ. Originally, when the organ was put in, there was a big movement throughout the United States to go back to original looking and sounding instruments, and they just developed that even farther. The console, which is all rosewood, is probably one of the most fun features to watch for organists and non-organists alike, because that's where all the action happens. There's lots of moving of the hands with the multiple keyboards, which are called manuals, and of course playing with your feet. In the center manual, which is called the grate, there are grooves in the middle set of keys from the years of being played on, and it's really kind of exciting to kind of have my fingers fall into those grooves and feel connected to the decades and decades of players that have been at that instrument. Each of the three keyboards own a section of the organ. So the grate, which is the middle keyboard, has its own set of pipes in the right bank on the wall. The swell has that upper left section, and then the positive has the section hanging off of the balcony. So individually, it's like having three instruments in one, and they can all be independent from each other and play by themselves, and they all have families of sounds that belong just to them. And then what happens is, when I want to make them all play together, I can put down some more of those stop tabs, and it will couple the sounds so that I can play on one keyboard and control sounds from any of the three at one time. But I can have all of it together just by hitting a switch. So on the organ, the sounds are grouped into families, and we have principal sounds, flute sounds, reed sounds, and string sounds. When someone says, hey, I heard an organ, you will probably think of what are the principal sounds. And those are normally the big metal pipes that you can easily see, which are in the pedal. Those belong to the principal family. Flute pipes can be both metal and wood, and they're a little more softer and a little more subtle of sound than the principal sound. The string sounds are unique hybrid pipes that are meant to sound more like strings from an orchestra, violins, violas, cellos, and so they bring a thinner, stringy quality for more lush moments. And then you have the reeds, which can range from very hushed sounding reeds all the way to really bombastic trumpet and trombone sounds. The pipe organ doesn't naturally crescendo or decrescendo. When you hit a key, it opens a valve and it lets air through the pipe, so it's a constant volume for that pipe. So the swell shutter pedal, which is controlled by the feet, and it's right above the pedal board where I play the notes with my feet, and as I push the pedal forward, the swell shutters will open, and as I slowly push it closed, the swell shutters will close. And so it's connected by electric wire from my foot all the way up to the top of the swell box to open and close the shutters. So the stop tabs on the organ each tell me what family and what the size of the pipe is. So there's 8-foot flutes and 16-foot flutes and 4-foot reeds. And so I know what to turn on for what sound that I want. And the more of those that I have down, the louder the sound is going to be, because the more pipes I have playing together. And the fewer is when you get the purity of an individual sound. And so the organ has these great big chests that fill with air, and they're waiting for me to press these notes. And then they activate, and as I hit the keys, all of these things open up, and it just lets this air rush out into the pipes.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.